My name is Joshua Boyd. I've been playing drums for about 15 years now. Started as a little kid in church at New Life Community Center over on the southern side of Greensboro on Florida Street. As a kid, just growing up in church, I've always just, played. My dad was the minister. My mom sang on the praise and worship team. And I would just always be on the drum, traveling from here to there, wherever the church went, there I was. So I was pretty in the church, pretty heavy growing up. And to this day, I still am. That hasn't changed about me. Throughout elementary school, I continued to, just play drums, do talent shows here and there. I entered one competition with my school when I was in second grade, and I placed second in the county. I lost to a girl playing the violin. It's crazy how that works, but that showed me a lot. That I had a lot in me that I wasn't sure that I had in me. So from then on, middle school, I joined the concert band. I wanted to play drums since I was a drummer, but my band teacher didn't see that happening. He wanted me to play trumpet. I wasn't sure why I played I played trumpet, but I can honestly say it was probably a good thing that I did since I can learn other instruments, not just drums, So I played trumpet 6th and 7th grade. In 8th grade, he finally let me do what I wanted to do and play drums. So middle school was pretty fun. And also when I got to about 7th grade, I started playing for another church called Cathedral of His Glory. Pastor Dr. Paul C. Willis, phenomenal teacher, great teacher. So I started playing here under the direction of Tion Garcia, phenomenal dude, awesome director, producer. Over the years, he's been training me, getting me prepared for other scenarios outside of church. So I've been under him since then, and that was 2007. So ever since then, he just kind of took me under his wing and just been doing that ever since. When I was in high school, when I came to high school, freshman year, I tried out for the marching band at Dudley Senior High School. I didn't end up going to Dudley like I thought I was. I went to Ben L. Smith. So freshman year, I just sat out for marching band, just still played drums at church. But sophomore year came around, and so I had tried out over the summer for the band and for the drum line. I had made it playing snare, so that was a big milestone for me. So the band director at Smith, Mr. Butler, unfortunately, Mr. Butler passed away about 2 years ago. But being in the marching band, taught me a lot about musicianship and how to play, amongst other musicians. How to read music. It's like marching band is like a big family. You with the people, your peers so much all the time, sun up, sun down, blood, sweat. It's like a big brotherhood. So being under the direction of Mr. Butler, taught me a lot. You learn things outside of music, about manhood, life lessons, morals, values, So it was a good experience being under him. So then throughout high school, I had moved my junior year to Durham, North Carolina. And it was then when I started playing at another church Restoration Christian Church in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pastor Jesse Mills, also a phenomenal pastor. Great man. You know, he's I've learned a lot, you know, being around him. You know, he's took a lot of time out to spend time with me, you know, and make sure I'm going on the right path, you know, keeping focused, stuff like that. But yeah, to this day, I still play with them on Saturdays. They have service on Saturdays, so Fridays and Saturdays, I'm down there in Raleigh, you know, helping them out. And then coming back to Greensboro on Sunday mornings, you know, to still play here at the Cathedral of His Glory. And other things, I've traveled a lot. Well, I'm beginning to travel a lot. I've played, you know, in Canada, Niagara Falls. Have an upcoming trip to Connecticut with Restoration Christian Church. I'm starting to, right now I'm working with this group, you know, this R&B neo soul group, you know, trying to get incorporated with them, you know, to do something outside of church. Now, one thing about me, no matter what I'll do, I'll always, if I play nowhere else, I will always play in church because I was just raised that way, you know, so God blessed me with the talent, so I got to give it to him. So, but I do want to venture outside of church, you know, a little bit, you know, and start playing, you know, other styles of music, be it R&B, hip hop, jazz, you know, whatever. Church is always going to be a big part of me. You know, I never want to get away from church. It's just a key thing in my life. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for God, so I love what I do for him. But far as my music education, right now I'm studying at GTCC for sound engineering. I've been thinking about switching that field to audio and visual editing, just to do so, because I feel that that's a bigger field than, you know, being a sound engineer. You know, anybody can be a sound engineer, you know. But, you know, I kind of want to do something kind of outside of music, but at the same time it's applicable to music. So I kind of want to go towards that field. But a long-term goal of mine, I really want to get the Berklee experience. I really want to head up to Boston and go to Berklee School of Music. You know, that's a big dream of mine. A lot of my friends tell me I can do it. You know, I mean, I myself believe I can do it, but just right now, you know, I have other things to take care of as far as music. Then money-wise too, because, you know, tuition, good gracious Lord, it's another story. But, you know, that's pretty much it, man. Just for, you know, my techniques as far as, you know, as far as like morals and stuff, you know, one thing that I think that's really taken me a long way with music, and I think is just being humble. You know, like no matter how good you are, I don't care. Like if you Grammy nominated, you know, all these other rankings, you know, always be able to be teachable. You know, because you can learn anything from anybody. Like even someone that's not as good as you, but you can still learn something from them. Like I also teach drum lessons, you know, so my students, I learn so much from them. As crazy as it may sound, I really do. You know, like just little things like maybe like patience, you know, you can't just learn. Some people learn slower than others. You can't just pick up everything fast, you know what I'm saying? You have to just slow down and just take it easy, you know, because every musician or every, you know, drummer or guitarist or pianist, if you will, you know, wants to be able to just play everything just, you know, really fast, you know what I'm saying? But with my students, you know, I tell them in order to get to that level, you know, so you just have to slow things down, you know, just start off slow, then work your way up. You know, and that brings me to one of my favorite quotes. I learned it in 8th grade. My 8th grade science teacher, Miss Keith, one day we had a warm-up, and we had to give a response to a quote she had gave us. And the quote said, "The hardest thing for me to do is to do what I don't want to do so I can be who it is I say I want to be." And when you really think about that quote, you know, it can get really deep. But what it's basically saying is, in order to reach the goal you're trying to reach, there's going to be some things that you really don't want to do. Like for the music world, music theory. Music theory can be a pain in the butt, but you have to go through it, you know, in order to reach that higher status, you know, or hiatus, if you will. But yeah, so I apply a lot of morals and, you know, lessons my parents taught me, you know, into this music thing. You know, so it's gonna be some crazy people out here if you don't have a, you know, good relationship with God and, you know, a good support system, man. It can rock your world a little bit. But you know, I think I have my head on pretty straight. I have a good support team, a lot of great, wiser musicians to give me a lot of wisdom and, you know, so keep me grounded.